I am pleased to introduce Brendan Donegan, who will speak on behalf of the class. Brendan.
Jumbotron. Check me out, Mom. Just when I thought my head couldn't look any bigger. Let's get this started. All right. Thank you, faculty, students, parents, alumni, that squirrel without a tail, and any janitors who are secretly mathematicians. Life is better when you have people to share it with, so thank you all for being here today. I know many of you may be thinking, why is this kid giving the commencement speech? His grades are probably about as good as our football team. I wanted to be the class commencement speaker for a few simple reasons: to display the gratitude I hold for this institution for providing me with such an excellent education and experience, to pay tribute to my parents for the countless sacrifices they've made for me, and most importantly, to take a picture of myself up here so I could tell everyone I was the valedictorian. Not to mention, graduation ceremonies are extremely long. I figured if I have to sit through one, I might as well try to participate. When I was Googling the other day how to give a commencement speech, I came across an interesting picture of a girl on the internet. Not that kind of picture. The picture was of a girl at her graduation in her cap and gown, holding up her diploma, smiling for the camera, and the caption on the picture read, "Congrats, graduate, you just finished the easiest part of your life." For many of us, whether we're searching for a job or starting a new one, we will soon realize this. But I'm confident that we are prepared, as we have learned many valuable lessons throughout our time spent together here at the University of Scranton. We learned how to master the art of writing a paper the night before, which may or may not be exactly how I wrote this speech. We learned that in Scranton, the calendar isn't always telling the truth when it says that spring starts in March. We learned that when someone asks where you go to school, the best way to respond is to say, "Have you ever seen the show The Office?" And we learned that when you're living in the dorms, being labeled as a social host is not necessarily a good thing. All these valuable lessons we learned while we were in college, and if you can believe it, for just $50,000 a year. Scranton, as we all know, is the Harvard of Pennsylvania. Also, the home of Joe Biden and the land of the skunks, both of which are equally popular and stinky. But this school has done so much for us and has helped define the people we are today. Not only has Scranton helped define our characters, but also helped define our thighs and our butts from walking up these hills for 4 years. But we would all gladly walk these hills all over again if it meant that we could spend more time on this beautiful campus, avoiding the real world, with our amazing friends and wonderful teachers. These past 4 years have been truly unforgettable, but unfortunately, this chapter of our lives must come to a close. We've made it this far, and now we are graduating. But of course, none of us have gotten to this point today on our own. We would be nowhere without the help of our family, our friends, and our loved ones. My parents recently celebrated their 26th wedding anniversary. Yeah. My dad proposed to my mom on April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day. So regardless of whether or not this has been a sick joke on horribly wrong, Dad, thanks for getting together, you guys. I literally wouldn't be here without you. Our parents have given us everything they have and more. You start to realize these things as you get older. and you start to realize how much you take your parents for granted. Don't take them for granted, and cherish the time you have with them. And understand that in the hearts of our parents, their children are their livelihood. That's why all of our parents' Facebook profile pictures are of us, you know. Other than their kids, they really don't got much going on anymore. So thank your parents. I'd also like to personally thank two very special people who are here today, Mr. Joe and Mrs. Nan Famular, two fellow Scranton alumni who actually met at this school, who also serve as the parents of my two best friends. I certainly would not be standing here today without your help. Thank you for everything. Now, every commencement speaker typically encourages students to find their passion and to continue to work for it. And I think that's great advice. However, as we all know, often the hardest part of working toward your passion is actually finding what it is you're passionate about. That's why I believe a Jesuit education is so important. A Jesuit education exposes us to a variety of learning opportunities, helps us find relevance in all things, and in turn, guides us in finding our passions or our purpose. So to my peers, I'd like to say, if you haven't found your passion yet, that's okay. Stay motivated and continue to wake up every morning with a desire to better yourself and a willingness to learn something new. And you'll figure it out. I mean, or you won't. I don't really know for sure. I'm just a communication major. What do I really know? CAS like that one. Thank you. It's a very scary age for us because we don't know what's next. We're getting older, and it is weird. You know you're getting older when you see a picture of a bunch of spring breakers on the beach and your first thought isn't, man, that looks fun, or man, that girl's pretty. But instead you think, who's paying for all this? We're at a scary age where we've seen the people who will be prescribing us medication in a few years get a little too cockeyed at cockeyes. But I'm not worried because we learn the most from our mistakes. When we came into this school as freshmen, I believe we were the biggest class in school history. I don't know, something. I've gotten to know many of you, and I can say with complete sincerity that this school has instilled great quality value in all of you. But ultimately, it's the phenomenal integrity of this class that will consequently make us the most influential class ever. Don't fear the uncertainty of the future. We're all in the same boat as fear of the unknown plagues us all. However, if we look back 4 years ago, we can remember how scared we were as incoming freshmen, and we realize how much we've learned since we were freshmen. Or to put it more delicately, we realized how much dumber we were as freshmen. When I was a senior in high school, I told my Uncle Dan I was going to the University of Scranton, and he said, "Oh, that's great. Is that a Catholic school?" I said, "No, it's Jesuit." Look at me now, offering my insight on what it means to be educated at a Jesuit university. So you see, chances are you'll look back 4 years ago from today, and you'll laugh at all the things that you used to be scared of, or the worries that scare you now, or the tough or embarrassing lessons you've learned. So stay motivated and keep learning, but don't forget to relax and enjoy the ride. Figure out what's important to you, work hard, and you will continue to surprise yourself with what you're capable of. If you're not waking up every morning with the purpose to learn, grow, or better yourself at the beginning of every morning, then why wake up at all? We only live one life, so don't just live to exist. Live to make a difference. Live to leave your mark in some way or another. Whether it's wisdom or breadcrumbs, a quotation mark, a magic marker, maybe you just have a kid named Mark, I don't know, but leave your mark in some way. And as St. Ignatius historically advocated, go out and set the world on fire. Figuratively speaking, of course. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2015.